Most people are breathing, but they're not alive. They're walking around like ghosts, trapped in routines, shackled by fear, imprisoned by regrets. And the truth is, it's not death that scares us. It's the idea of reaching the end and realizing we never truly lived. Today, I'm here to wake you up, to shake your soul, to remind you, don't die before your death. Because life is not measured in years, it's measured in moments, in courage, in the fire that burns inside you. Imagine this with me for a moment. You wake up every day, your body moves, you go through the motions. Brush your teeth, drink your coffee, head to work, check your phone, scroll. The world sees you alive. But inside you feel like something's missing, like you're just existing. And the truth is, so many people are already dead while they're still breathing. They've surrendered their spirit. They've given up their fire. They've allowed their soul to get locked up inside a mental prison built from fear, doubt, and the weight of other people's expectations. That prison is invisible, but it's powerful. You can't touch it, you can't see it, but you can feel it. It's the voice in your head that whispers, what if I fail? What if they laugh at me? What if I'm not good enough? It's the chain that keeps you tied to a job you hate, a relationship that drains you, or a dream you never dare to chase. And you tell yourself, it's fine, I'll settle, I'll stay safe. But deep down, you know it's not fine. You know safety is costing you your aliveness. The scariest thing about this prison is that you build it yourself. You pick up every brick when you choose fear over courage, when you choose silence over speaking your truth, when you choose the comfort of routine over the discomfort of growth. And then one day, you realize the walls are so high you can't see the horizon anymore. You forget what freedom feels like. You forget what it means to feel alive. But here's the reality: the bars aren't locked. The door isn't sealed. That prison exists because you keep feeding it. And the moment you decide to stop feeding fear, stop giving power to what others think, stop living small, you realize you were free all along. Freedom is a decision, not a condition. It's not about waiting until everything is perfect, until you're fearless, until the timing is right. Freedom comes the moment you choose courage over comfort. And let me tell you this, you don't need to wait until life knocks you to your knees to wake up. Too many people only break free when tragedy strikes, when they lose someone they love, when they face their mortality. Suddenly, they realize what mattered all along wasn't the money, the approval, or the status. It was the laughter, the love, the risks, the passion. Don't wait for death to remind you to live. Don't wait for pain to remind you of your strength. You can break free right now. Ask yourself, what have you locked yourself away from? What dream did you bury because someone told you it was impossible? What part of yourself did you silence because you feared being judged? What passion, what vision, what fire is sitting in the corner of your heart, starving because you won't feed it? That's your life calling you. That's your spirit begging you to come back to life. And yes, it's scary to break free. It's terrifying to step outside the walls you've lived inside for years. It's easier to play small, to follow the script, to hide. But think about the alternative. Do you really want to reach the end of your life and realize you never actually lived it? Do you want to die with your music still inside you? That's the real tragedy. Not death itself, but a life unlived. When you break free from that prison, everything changes. You start walking differently, speaking differently, living differently. You stop apologizing for who you are. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You stop saying, maybe someday, and start saying, why not now? You begin to taste life, to feel it in your chest, to see colors brighter, to breathe deeper. You come alive. Not because the world gave you permission, but because you decided you didn't need it anymore. Don't let fear dictate the terms of your existence. Don't let other people's opinions become the walls that cage your soul. Don't hand over your one short life to hesitation, doubt, or regret. If you've been waiting for a sign to break free, this is it. Because you were not put on this earth just to exist. You were put here to live. Comfort feels good, doesn't it? It feels safe. It feels predictable. It's the warm blanket you wrap around yourself, the routine you can rely on, the path you've walked so many times that you could do it blindfolded. And there's nothing wrong with comfort, until it becomes the cage that keeps you from truly living. Because comfort, while it feels secure, has a hidden cost. It robs you of growth, it robs you of passion, and slowly, it robs you of life. Think about it. Every breakthrough you've ever had in your life didn't happen when things were easy. It didn't happen when you were sitting back, relaxed, waiting for life to serve you something on a silver platter. Your growth came in the moments when you were stretched, when you were tested, when you were pushed into the unknown. Maybe it was the first time you stood up to someone who doubted you, the first time you tried something that scared you, or the first time you kept going when everything inside of you wanted to quit. That's when you felt alive. That's when your spirit said, "This is living." The truth is, comfort feels like safety, but it's an illusion. You stay in the same job for 10 years, not because it fulfills you, but because it's comfortable. You stay in a relationship that doesn't light you up, not because it makes you better, but because it feels familiar. You hold on to routines, habits, and patterns that keep you numb, because stepping outside of them feels like risk. But what's the bigger risk? Living a life where every day feels the same, where nothing grows, where your soul withers in silence, or stepping into the unknown and discovering who you truly are. Growth will demand discomfort from you. It will ask you to trade certainty for possibility. It will require you to embrace failure, to feel fear and do it anyway. And yes, it will hurt at times. You will stumble. You will question yourself. But every stumble is shaping you. Every fall is teaching you. And every risk is stretching the walls of who you thought you were. That's the price of living fully. That's the price of becoming more than just a body breathing in and out every day. You see, most people settle for comfort because it feels like control, but control is just another illusion. Life is unpredictable no matter how tight you hold on. The difference is, when you choose growth, you embrace that unpredictability with courage. You stop waiting for certainty before you move forward. You stop needing everything to be safe before you take a leap. You realize that the only true security in life comes from knowing that whatever happens, you can handle it, you can grow from it, and you can use it to become stronger. Ask yourself right now, where are you choosing comfort over growth? Where are you settling for good enough instead of reaching for extraordinary? Where are you letting fear disguise itself as logic, telling you to wait, to hold back, to stay safe? Maybe it's a dream you've been putting off. Maybe it's a conversation you've been avoiding. Maybe it's a risk you've been too afraid to take. Whatever it is, you already know deep down. Your heart knows. Your soul knows. And it's screaming at you to stop waiting, because life doesn't reward comfort. Life rewards courage. It rewards the ones who dare, the ones who step into the unknown, the ones who are willing to get uncomfortable in order to discover what they're truly made of. And when you do that, when you embrace growth over comfort, something powerful happens. You feel alive again. The fire inside of you reignites. You wake up in the morning with energy, with hunger, with passion. You stop merely surviving and you start thriving. Comfort will keep you alive, but growth will make you come alive. One of the greatest tragedies I see in people's lives is how often they're living a story that isn't even theirs. They wake up, go to work, chase money, seek approval, and follow a script that society handed them years ago, without ever asking, is this truly what I want? Is this truly who I am? And you can feel it when you're not aligned with your purpose. There's this emptiness, this quiet frustration, like you're playing a role in a movie you never auditioned for. You smile, you nod, you go through the motions, but inside, something aches because you know you were meant for more. And here's the thing, you can be successful on the outside and still be dying on the inside. You can have the house, the car, the career, the approval, and still feel like you're missing the point. Because fulfillment doesn't come from checking boxes off someone else's list. Fulfillment only comes when you're living a life that matches your soul. And if you're not aligned with that, no amount of external success will fill the void. So many people ignore that voice inside of them. You know the one I'm talking about, the whisper that says, this isn't it. This isn't who you really are. You were meant for more. And they silence it because it's inconvenient. Because listening to it would mean making changes, taking risks, disappointing people who expect you to stay the same. But let me tell you, ignoring that voice is what kills your spirit long before your body takes its last breath. That's what it means to die before your death, to bury your dreams so deep that even you forget where they are. Living aligned with your purpose doesn't always mean quitting your job or moving to another country. It doesn't always mean burning everything down and starting over. Sometimes it's as simple as being honest with yourself. It's choosing to stop pretending. It's showing up as who you really are, not who you think people want you to be. It's following the path that lights you up inside, even if it doesn't make sense to anyone else. And yes, it's scary. It's scary to step out of the script you've been following for years. It's scary to admit that maybe the life you built isn't the life you truly want. But here's what's scarier. Living the rest of your days in quiet misery, knowing you never had the courage to be yourself. Because the truth is, the world doesn't need another copy. It doesn't need you to shrink, to conform, to play small. The world needs your authenticity. It needs your gifts. It needs your fire. Think about this. How many people reach the end of their lives filled with regret, not because of what they did, but because of what they didn't do? They regret the words they never spoke, the risks they never took, the passions they never followed. They regret living for everyone else but themselves. And that regret doesn't come from failing. It comes from never trying, from never aligning with the life they were truly called to live. Your purpose isn't something you find out there. It's something you uncover in here, within yourself. It's already inside you, in the things that bring you joy, in the moments that make you feel alive, in the struggles you've endured and the lessons you've learned. Purpose is born in your uniqueness, in your story, in the difference you can make that no one else can. But you'll never discover it if you keep living on autopilot, if you keep silencing the very parts of you that are trying to break free. So I'm asking you, are you living your life, or are you living someone else's version of it? Are you being true to yourself, or are you performing for an audience that doesn't even care? Are you following your fire, or are you letting it burn out under the weight of expectations? Because when you align with your true purpose, something shifts. You stop chasing and you start creating. You stop pretending and you start becoming. You stop living for the applause and you start living for the impact. That's when you feel alive. That's when every moment carries meaning. That's when you stop dying inside and you finally begin to live. Because the only life worth living is the one that's true to you. Pain is something every single one of us will face. There's no escaping it. At some point in your life, you'll get hurt, you'll get disappointed, you'll get knocked down by circumstances you never saw coming. It could be betrayal, it could be loss, it could be failure. And in those moments, pain feels like a weight pressing down on your chest, like it's trying to suffocate the very life out of you. Most people try to run from it. They numb it, they avoid it, they bury it deep, hoping it will disappear. But here's the truth. Pain doesn't go away just because you pretend it's not there. Pain transforms only when you decide to use it. The most powerful people you've ever admired, the ones who inspire you, the ones who've built extraordinary lives, they didn't do it because their lives were easy. They did it because they learned how to take pain and turn it into power. They understood that struggle is not meant to break you, it's meant to shape you. That every scar carries a lesson and every setback hides within it the seed of strength. Think about it. Some of your greatest breakthroughs came out of your hardest battles. The moments where you thought you couldn't go on, but you did. The times you thought it was over, but somehow you found another gear inside of you. That's the gift of pain. It reveals to you the depth of your resilience. It shows you what you're really made of when all the masks are stripped away. Without pain, you'd never know your true strength. But here's the mistake most people make. They let pain define them instead of refine them. They build an identity around their wounds. They replay the story of how they were hurt, how they were wronged, how unfair life has been. And they let that story cage them for years, sometimes for decades. But pain is not who you are. Pain is what you've been through. And when you shift your perspective, you can take that pain and use it as fuel. You can channel it into growth, into contribution, into a deeper sense of purpose. The truth is, pain gives meaning to joy. Without loss, we don't appreciate love. Without failure, we don't recognize success. Without struggle, victory doesn't taste as sweet. Pain sharpens us, it humbles us, and it awakens us to what truly matters. And if you're in pain right now, as hard as it may be to see, that pain is also an invitation. It's an invitation to grow, to rise, to evolve into a stronger, wiser, more compassionate version of yourself. When you use pain as power, it doesn't just change you. It impacts everyone around you. People are inspired not by your perfection, but by your perseverance. They connect not to your victories, but to the battles you fought and the way you kept moving forward. Your story of pain turned into power becomes a roadmap for someone else who's struggling in silence. That's how your wounds can become someone else's hope. I know it's tempting to ask, why me? Why did I have to go through this? But maybe the better question is, what can this teach me? What can this create in me? Who can I become because of this? Pain doesn't come to punish you. It comes to prepare you. It's sculpting you into the person capable of carrying the life you've been dreaming of. So if you're hurting, don't numb it. Don't run from it. Don't let it bury you. Feel it, face it, and then choose to use it. Because the very thing you think is breaking you could be the very thing that builds you into who you were always meant to be. Because pain, when transformed, becomes the greatest source of your power. So many people live as if they've got forever. They tell themselves, one day I'll take that trip. One day I'll start that business. One day I'll mend that relationship. One day I'll finally live the way I've always dreamed. But here's the truth. There is no one day. There is no magical moment waiting for you in the future when everything lines up perfectly and life gives you permission to start. All you have is right now. And if you keep waiting, if you keep postponing your life for some future date, you'll wake up one day and realize that future never came. We live in this illusion that time is infinite. We say, I'll do it later. I'll be happy later. I'll live later. But life doesn't work like that. None of us are guaranteed tomorrow. The only moment you are promised is this one. And when you truly understand that, when you let it sink into your bones that time is the most precious resource you will ever have, you stop wasting it on excuses. You stop waiting. You stop delaying the life you were meant to live. Every single day you're writing the story of your life. The question is, are you writing a story worth remembering? Are you filling your days with experiences that make your heart beat faster, that make you proud, that make you feel alive? Or are you simply letting the days slip by, lost in distraction, numbed by routine, waiting for a perfect moment that will never come? The perfect time doesn't exist. The stars won't suddenly align. You won't suddenly feel fearless. You won't suddenly be ready. You become ready by doing, by stepping forward despite the uncertainty, despite the fear, despite the discomfort. Action is what creates clarity. Action is what creates momentum. Action is what turns dreams into reality. And let's be honest, someday is just an excuse. It's a way of protecting yourself from risk, from failure, from rejection. But here's the reality: playing it safe is the biggest risk of all. Because while you're waiting, life is passing. While you're waiting, your fire is dimming. While you're waiting, opportunities are slipping away, and you don't get those moments back. Once they're gone forever. So what if you stopped waiting? What if instead of pushing your dreams into the future, you pulled them into the present? What if instead of saying, one day I'll live fully, you said, today I'm going to live fully? Imagine the difference that would make. Imagine the energy you'd feel, the passion you'd ignite, the love you'd pour into your relationships, the courage you'd bring into your work if you lived like today was the only day you had. Because here's the thing, you don't need more time to start living. You just need to decide. Decide that your life is too valuable to waste on hesitation. Decide that your dreams are too important to keep waiting on the sidelines. Decide that your relationships matter too much to keep leaving words unsaid. Decide that you're going to live now, not later. When you make that decision, life changes instantly. You stop waiting for happiness to show up, and you start creating it. You stop waiting for the right conditions, and you start making conditions right. You stop waiting for the end to remind you of what matters, and you start cherishing every breath, every moment, every connection right here, right now. And the beauty of living fully in the present is this: you stop dying inside. Because every time you delay your dreams, every time you withhold your love, every time you play it safe instead of bold, a piece of you dims. But when you live fully, when you embrace each day like it's a gift, your spirit comes alive. You laugh louder, you love deeper, you dare bigger. You don't just exist, you live. So stop waiting, stop postponing, stop living like you have forever. Bring your energy, your passion, your courage into today. Because if you want to live a life with no regrets, it starts with this moment, right here, right now. Because life is not waiting for you someday. Life is happening now. Life isn't something you wait for. It isn't something that comes packaged at the end of the road. It isn't a someday waiting to arrive. Life is right here, right now. And the greatest tragedy is not that we die. It's that too many of us die long before our final breath. We let fear build walls around our spirit. We trade growth for comfort. We live someone else's story instead of our own. We let pain bury us instead of build us. And we spend our days waiting for a future that may never come. But you don't have to live like that. You don't have to settle for existing when you were created to live fully, passionately, and unapologetically. Break free from the prison in your mind. Step outside the comfort that keeps you small. Align your life with your true purpose. Turn your pain into fuel. And for God's sake, stop waiting for someday, because life is happening now. This is your moment. This is your wake-up call. Don't die before your death. Live so fully, so boldly, so authentically that when the day does come, you won't fear it. You'll smile knowing you truly lived.